Hey guys, me again. Bringing you today some more existential topics. Looking at the past. And when you look at the past, I'm sure you can think of days post-diagnosis, when you're already living with multiple sclerosis, when you felt better than how you feel today. And you may look back at those days and cherish the way you felt during those days. And today I'm going to bring you a video to talk about what to do and what I've experienced is the best way to think about those days and draw some learnings from them. So if you're interested in this topic, guys, stay tuned, starting now. So when I look back at how I was faring physically 4 or 5 years ago, I've got to say that I was considerably better than I am today. And I'm making this video also to remind myself not to stray from how I was doing back then, 4 to 5 years ago. Now, you know that my condition has been stable for the past many years thanks to the disease-modifying therapies that I take, namely currently on Ocrevus. However, my body, my physical capabilities have been fluctuating, often for the worse. And when I try to look objectively at these fluctuations, I now see, with a distance, I now notice that these changes may have been caused by changes in my routines, in my dietary patterns, in my supplementation patterns, in my exercise patterns. So when I look back at 4 years ago, what I was doing back then, I realize now that, I've actually stopped doing many of those things that I did back then. So for the past couple of months, I've been slowly going back into the routine that I had back then. I'm not going to share what that routine was because ultimately we're all different with multiple sclerosis, and what works for one person is not going to work for the other person. So there's no point in me sharing this routine, and I trust that you will look back and remember what was working for you at a point in your life in the past where you were faring better. So look back and I start implementing those elements of the routine little by little, and I start to notice how I start to feel better and I start to improve. And this is something to remind myself to stop experimenting and to actually rely on something that had worked for me and perhaps hadn't worked to perfection, but it had a solid base, and it's perhaps a base that I should maintain and maybe start adding things onto it if I think that some improvements can be made. But this is a learning that I need to remind myself of, but I also want to invite you guys to try to think of when was the last time you felt good, felt better, and try to think what it was that you did differently back then. If you notice anything that you did differently, try to see if you can start implementing those elements back into your life and start seeing if you start to reap the benefits of those small changes. You know your body best, and your memory remembers your body best. So look at back in time when it was that you felt better and try to go back to those habits that you had back then. And this is a way of listening to your body and paying attention to the messages, the signals that your body was sending you. So respect those signals and go back to the way it was before. Hopefully this is going to help you return to some sort of stability that you had back then, and help you find some improvements in your condition. So I hope this helps you guys, and this is it for me today. And hope you're well, take care, and I will see you soon.